Welcome back. It's your best friends. It's Austin.
And it's Sean.
Yeah. And we're back from Dayton, Ohio for
That's
episode
right.
number 13.
It's been a little while since we recorded, because we recorded last Monday and now it's Thursday.
That's correct.
So it's a
With
little bit
Devin
more
Dwyer,
our second guest.
second guest. I think he was equally as good as the first one, because why would I rate them?
That's good. Yes.
Everyone's the best.
Everyone is the
But
best.
all equally the
They're
best.
all our best friends equally. And your best
100%.
friends equally. So you better not have a preference either. So
Exactly. You better not ask for anyone back, because that is favoritism.
exactly. They're all your best friends equally.
Ask for everyone back at the same time.
Yes. And then we'll probably I think we're planning on having a guest for next episode.
Yeah.
So
we're going to do one no guest, one guest, one no guest, one guest.
yes, that's the current plan at least.
It's going to be good.
Yeah, super exciting. How was your week?
It was the same as your week, but it was very long and eventful and rewarding and
Emotional.
Yeah. Yeah. For anyone who doesn't know, which I'm sure everyone that's listening probably knows, we went to WGI finals this past week and went with the group Paradigm Percussion. I teach it. Sean marched it. Yeah. It was a good time overall. So my week was long and very good.
Yeah.
Overall.
Should we briefly describe the activity just in case somebody who doesn't know is listening to this for the first time?
I'm really bad at describing it. So I'll give my best one sentence answer, and then I'm sure you're better at it. So I feel like it's like musical theater where everyone has their own production, but it's competitive and there's no singing. It's just with percussion instruments. So there's a marching percussion section, the battery, and then a section that doesn't march. And then sometimes visual performers and stuff like that as well. And march around and move around and dance and do choreography and act, do character things inside of whatever show you're performing, whatever you're trying to portray.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that pretty much sums it up. So the season starts typically in October, November. It's when auditions are. Every group has their auditions around that time. Then they select the people that are going to be on whatever instrument and whatever line they're going to be on. And then you perfect a show from then on until April, which is when the WGI World Championships are, and those are held in University of Dayton Arena in Dayton, Ohio. So, and that's what we just got back from. So,
and this is the first time that's happened since 2019.
Yeah,
the 2020 season got canceled. The 2021 season was virtual, and a lot of groups didn't participate, including the one that I teach. So, yeah, it's been a while. It's been 3 years since it's happened, which was nice to get back to what feels like normal.
Yeah, 100%. And I wasn't even planning on marching this season, so that was nice to be able to come back and do that for one last time, because for those of you that don't know, there's an age limit on this activity, which is 22 years old. So I will, after this year, I basically just gave my age away, but it is what it is. I can no longer march anymore after this season. So, but
my age will stay a mystery forever.
That's right. Until I expose you.
Probably.
But yeah, what was your highlight? What was the highlight of the week for you?
Oh man. I don't know. My highlight of the week was probably just seeing people experience what I've known that they were going to experience. People who have never been, I don't think I'm doing a good job articulating what I'm saying. So let me kind of restart. Anyone who hasn't been to Dayton for this competition for finals, it's very hard to put it into words and explain what happens and the level of production that occurs and all of the intricacies of what happens and like how hard it is, and it doesn't even feel hard because you're like in there and it's about to end and you just have to like go 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 until you hit this brick wall, and the brick wall is the ending of the season. It's like, whoa, what just happened? So I think that was probably the highlight, was being able to show people what this thing's about.
Yeah, I was thinking about that actually. It's like weird how you go through a whole season, because this is, I mean, it's international, right? So like you typically have your local competitions throughout the season, but you're typically only competing with the same couple of groups. You only know so much about the competition. And then once you get to Dayton, it's like you're surrounded by so many groups. They're all doing the same thing as you and trying to do it better than you. And it's like, it's intimidating, but it's also really cool that like, all the people that are obsessed with the thing you're obsessed with are in this one location now. So
yeah, pretty much everyone that is anyone that cares anything about WGI was there, and it's like that every year, with rare exceptions, and it's pretty special thing. It's like our own little community, and pretty much, within reason, at least from the East Coast, everybody knows everybody, or at least knows of everybody. So it's nice to see people you marched with in other groups, people you've taught in the past who are marching other groups, people who you competed against for years, people who taught you,
yeah,
it's like a lot of nostalgia.
Yeah, I was gonna say you went to watch a world-class group warm up on Saturday, and I didn't think about it at the time, but after thinking about it, I'm sure you were surrounded with a lot of people that you marched with.
I was,
that
yes.
taught you and stuff like that. So
yep, that taught me, that I marched with. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
it's very special to be able to watch them and see them do their thing, and then them watch us, and us see us do our thing. It's a special thing.
Yeah, I'll say my highlight of the week is, I mean, performing. I mean, it was very grindy. We were doing a lot of work throughout the week, but then once we got to the warm-up lots, I don't know, it was just like all the best parts of the activity were right there. And then the performance, it was very emotional, because it was always like, I never know when the last performance is going to be, both for the season and for me. So it was trying to make every moment special, which I think I did. So yeah, I would say that was my highlight.
A hard question.
That is a hard question.
I mean, the fact that we were able to even get there this year felt like a win by itself. Just a lot of groups being able to go was a win.
Go to Dayton, you mean?
Yeah, like have this competition that we normally do have, but it's been derailed for so many reasons. It was nice to get it back.
Yeah, they were still doing like virtual competitions, weren't they? Like they still had like a virtual circuit, kind of.
I saw that somewhere. I don't know anything about it, but yeah, I saw it somewhere.
Yeah,
I don't know anyone that participated, but yeah, I'm sure it happened.
Yeah, it was probably like a mix of groups that didn't want to risk it for COVID, and probably groups that couldn't afford to make the trip either. So
yep, especially like the West Coast groups. It's not like this place that it always is held is somewhere central in the country. It's in Ohio, like pretty close to the East Coast. It's called part of the Midwest, but I don't. It's a topic for a different. Why the fuck is it called the Midwest? It makes no sense. But anyway, I
have no idea.
And I feel like someone could explain it to me, and I would still be like, "That's a really stupid reason."
Sense.
There's no way that's the reason. Like I know you heard that at some point, but yeah, even if they were 100% correct, I still don't think I would believe them.
Such a good point.
Yeah, some of the California groups, they had to fly, dude. They had to fly there, and then they have to hire a truck driver, assuming they don't have one already, to drive their semi truck there, and I bet that's super expensive too. So, yeah, I would say it'd be a good thing to do if they keep that around. It should be like first year group. Just try to do that first, because I've talked to a lot of directors and coordinators, and groups just go broke like instantly, because mostly the revenue that you get is membership dues for people being in the ensemble, and you spend all those on equipment, buying drums and buying sticks and buying heads and all that. Like, it's super expensive. So to run exactly a zero balance is good. To run a surplus, you're doing great. I feel like it's way more common for groups to run a deficit, though, meaning they're losing money on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And they're consistently in debt.
Yeah, that's stressful, especially for those groups that have to travel very far.
Yeah, but a way to not do that and not run up a deficit so fast could be, do the virtual thing, so you don't have to come all the way to Dayton, or you don't have to drive to a regional, because maybe the closest regional to you is multiple hours away, and all the logistical hell that goes with that.
Yeah, I mean, Paradigm Percussion, they existed in 2012, didn't go to Dayton until 2014 too. So a lot of groups that exist don't end up going to World Championships just because of the logistics and the pricing and all that. So
very true.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if the virtual thing is just because it's the year after COVID, or if they're just planning on keeping that as its own thing for an opportunity for groups that can't make it to continue to perform.
Good question.
I'd be curious to know.
Very good question. I don't know.
Maybe we can have a WGI board member as a guest sometime.
Be genius one of these days.
That's right.
Yeah, so I was going to do an article, because we normally do articles, but my article is just a flow marching article that says 2022 what to watch in world class.
Oh, nice.
So instead of that, let's just not, unless you want to give them a free shout out and show their website.
For flow marching? All right, what would you rate it? Give us the rating.
Let me look at it again real quick. Hold on. Right, I don't know if my camera's going to turn off.
Just to explain it to everybody, we normally every episode have an article. So I don't remember if it's evens or odds, but basically one episode Austin will have an article and I've never seen it, and then vice versa the next episode, and it's always a raw reaction. But I think we're going to be talking about WGI majority of this episode. So yeah, what would you rate it?
I'd give it like a 6. I knew what I was supposed to be reading, but there were a lot of ads on the right side. So I mean, respect, but 6 or 7.
6 or 7. That's pretty good.
It is pretty good.
It's one up there of the ones we've seen. We've had a lot of like 0.5s. So
yeah, do that ESPN one. If you haven't seen the most difficult sports episode, holy Jesus, so bad.
That was a bad looking website.
It's the worst. Like I told you, I've seen that since it was like 2006 or 7.
I wonder how many. That article. I wonder how many websites have been made and just like forgotten about. You know what I mean?
Oh, a lot. A lot.
Like there's probably a website that I made for like a school project that's still like accessible live somewhere. And it's just like horrible to look at. I don't know.
Says your name on it.
Say what?
Says your name on it.
Yeah.
Created by Sean Danielson.
It'll be like SeanDanielson.schoolproject.com or something like that. I don't even know. I literally just had to make, I didn't make the website. It was something made by Adobe, but I had to make like a portfolio website for my English class, and I'm probably going to forget to take that down. So SeanDanielson.Adobe portfolio or whatever it is probably going to exist forever.
It's going to live on, man. It's going to live on.
But
so funny.
Yeah. So I completely lost my train of thought.
No, you're good. Let's do a ranking of, you don't want to do Scholastic and Independent, just anybody.
We could do anybody. I was thinking top world independent. I didn't see any Scholastic groups. I'm not going to lie. And most of my ranking is going to be from watching the groups warm up. So I don't know many of the.
Let's just do independent world then. Independent world percussion.
Sounds good. Do you want to do it in order or random?
Well, what are our top 3 like that you enjoyed watching, or top 3 like you think they were the best this year?
I did my list based on the best, I think.
Okay. Yeah, the best. That's so hard.
It is pretty hard.
I got some buddies that might watch this. I'm gonna do no particular order. And I'm just gonna say that I enjoyed watching them.
I enjoy.
I'll give my reasons though as to why.
That's fair. Cool. What's your
You want me
first
to go
one?
first?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. United Percussion was my first one. So United is a group out of New Jersey. They've been around for a long time, and they have a lot of dudes who march cadets and taught cadets who teach there. And I can't reveal why, but I was checking out the arranging for a particular reason. Anyway, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I thought the show itself was actually something that, well, let's back up. I think a lot of world class shows are not enjoyable because they try to be a little too avant-garde or whatever the term is.
Deep.
Yeah, but then the deepness makes it feel more surface because there's not really actually a message. So the lack of message is what they're trying to make the deepness with. But I'm not, it's not my cup of tea. Let's just put it that way.
Sure.
I can respect the fact that that's what they like to do. Anyway, United, it was about like the whole world's watching you. I don't remember the exact name of the program, but they all had these like little headlights that looked like a flash of a camera, and then a bunch of interesting things that helped get their point across. But they played very respectfully and they moved the stick quickly and the same way from person to person. And I like how their hands look. I liked how the drums sounded, which was very rare for me this year. I did not like the tuning. Oh my God. I don't remember a year where I was like so many groups and the tuning was just not ideal.
Yeah.
In my opinion. I don't teach those groups, so it's not my business, but I'm like, oh God.
Yeah.
Why are we tuning the snare drums like that? Or like a lot of bass tuning was really low. Interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, I like their tuning a lot. I like their show a lot. I like their hands a lot. I like how they play a lot. I thought they were respectfully clean. Thought they were good. They moved well too, which is not always something you can say for every group. So yeah, I thought United was great.
Heck yeah. Sick. I don't think I saw United actually. I didn't see their lot or their show, or maybe I saw like the butt end of their show when I went in.
They had some hands, man.
Yeah, that's sick.
They're always swinging, but I really liked it this year a lot.
Heck yeah. My number one, I think, has to be George Mason University. I watched their lot, and I really enjoyed their book. To be honest, like I liked their book a lot, and I thought that they also had some pretty respectable hands. I'm trying to remember like past GMU years, and I feel like this is probably one of the better ones. I didn't see their show, but their book was pretty difficult, and I remember. Did you watch them at all?
I watched a little bit.
There was a part of their book that it was basically like this big detail. It was super mature, and I was super impressed with how like actually clean it was. And yeah, I just remember seeing that and thinking like, man, that's a lot of groups try to do that, and like it just doesn't execute well. But GMU, I think, did it super well.
Was it like a legit detail or was it like a metric detail? Like they just
it was
changed
a legit detail.
Okay.
Yeah. I think so, at least. Unless they got me. But
maybe. I don't know.
It's possible. But yeah, I think GMU was my first one.
I like how much it's very, very, very clear to me that they know exactly where their reference points are in relation to their feet.
Yes.
Yeah. I know that they're trying to play mathematical rhythms.
Yeah.
I know that's their goal. And I know that they're trying to play individually perfect first before they worry about group sound. So I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
Because there are 2 East Coast groups so far.
It's true.
We're going to stay East Coast only. I mean, there's like a whole thing about East Coast drumming versus West Coast drumming.
Versus West Coast.
Yeah. I don't get too much into it, but it is real. It's definitely real.
It is definitely real.
And I was taught, we live on the East Coast. I was taught by only East Coast people. So
yeah,
I'm sure that has something to do with my next pick. My next pick is Mystique. So Music City Mystique for a lot of reasons, but probably mostly emotional for certain people that I know. very well and respect a lot who teach there and march there and aged out with them this past season. So that was most of the reason why I enjoyed watching. On top of that, their snare tuning was probably my favorite of world class. So that was nice to listen to rather than listening to like super, super wet or other variations of things I don't enjoy listening on a snare drum. I like their tuning a lot. Yeah. I like their processes. I like how they move the stick. I like that they once again know exactly where the reference points are in relation to their feet. And it's individual sound first, group sound second. Yeah. They do great things.
I'll go ahead and say that my second one was also Mystique. I really enjoyed. I mean, the same thing. I remember watching them and thinking that they hit the drum like pretty dang hard, and they all look the same. And I really like their show. Like their show was super enjoyable to watch.
Yep.
I don't remember what it was called, but it was very
Come hell or high water.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I don't know. It was very. It didn't feel like a super. How I don't know how you described it earlier, but the like deep aspect of it, it just felt like a fun, upbeat, lighthearted show.
I enjoyed it a lot. It was a nice change of pace from most of shows that are in world class.
Yeah. So, yeah, those are my reasons for choosing MCM as my second as well.
Yep. But you know why people don't do shows like that regularly, right?
Why is that?
Because they don't perform. I mean, they don't score as well.
Yeah.
They just don't score as well.
I mean,
so
they got
unfortunate.
fifth, fourth.
Yeah, but that's like they got fifth, but that's pretty low for them. Like
that's true.
That's like I don't remember a year in the recent past where they've been lower than fifth. So if they're in fifth, I don't know because I haven't spoken to like the higher ups, like a director and all that.
Yeah.
But for certain people who are very interested in scores, that might feel like a down year for them when I don't feel like it was in comparison to the other, in comparison to the rest of the top five. I don't think it was a down year in comparison. I will say when Mystique, I definitely gave them the benefit of the doubt. When a rep was dirty, I was like, they're still committing to a certain level of quality, and I can see that they're still committing. So it's just like that just is what it is.
Yeah.
And it didn't offend me, And then when I watch certain other groups that are in that top five, and notes are dirty, I'm like, ah. And then since it's a game of comparison and a competitive game, I'm like, how did so and so beat so and so?
Yeah.
It's not up to me, and it's a waste of my time to think about. But it's just interesting.
Yeah. I mean, not to get super off topic, but Paradigm, this is our first year in a new class, open class, independent open class. And we typically do much more lighthearted shows. And I was just curious if you think that had a handle in how we placed, just because it's a new class and Paradigm's usually known for their more upbeat shows, but we're also normally in a different class. So,
I mean, I can give my whole analysis of the season right now if you want. Not
sure.
many people are going to be super interested in this, but I'll keep it as, I'll like stay super respectful toward everyone, of course, but we had some logistical hell, I would say. It was the most difficult logistical season I've ever been a part of, probably, outside of maybe one exception. But ever since I've been teaching, very difficult logistically, just a lot of random, like odd things that kept occurring. It's like, now we have to, put out that fire. Now I have to put out this fire. Now I have to put out that fire. So from my perspective, that was a lot of the reason why we didn't necessarily, I don't think the show was as produced as it could have been in a lot of aspects. We were talking about character earlier. I don't think we were able to portray that we were committed to the character of the show all the time. And I think pretty much the rest of open class was able to portray that.
That's fair.
So I just don't think we had enough time I don't think the staff and membership had enough time with the material to make those things come out, because it can't be like a forced thing where it's like, oh, it has to like kind of come out naturally, and especially with a lighthearted show, it has to come out naturally, and you'll see what the right thing is, and you'll be like, oh, that would be hilarious, or that would be like very cute, or that would be whatever in this instance right here. So we need to add this and then, teach it appropriately, make sure everyone adheres to it on a rep to rep basis. And then it comes across. We didn't have time because of these logistical things. Is that true? Probably not, but we were definitely hampered on time and we were focused on other things like playing clean, learning the beats, learning the drill at less than ideal time frames. So yeah. Other thing is we for sure got disrespected because of our size.
Yeah, we were small in comparison to pretty much every other group.
Yeah. Every other open class group, I didn't see any that were our size. Our front was bigger than some other fronts, but our battery was, oh my God, like less than half of a lot of batteries. Like we had 4 snares, 1 quad, 6 bass, no cymbals, one person on the movement line, like one visual performer. There were groups that had 5 movement line members, 6 cymbals, 6 bass drums, 5 quads, 9 snares. That's far past double of what we had. And I don't think it was a conscious thing for anyone who was writing down a score to make a decision based on that. But like, are your impacts as impressive? Is the pacing of the show as impressive when you have half the people, if not less, on the floor? No.
Yeah.
Also, when you look at total mistakes made or total ticks or whatever, or visual things, or someone breaking character for whatever reason, just because XYZ, whatever, if one person does that in a small
it's more
ensemble
noticeable
versus one person does that, and it's literally more percentage of incorrect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that is not perception, that's reality. That it's more percentage of the performers are not committing to whatever. So that's a thing as well, for sure.
Yeah. I feel like you're given
But yeah.
more benefit of the doubt too in just larger groups, just because it's just from like a musical perspective, it's just harder to tell like who's out versus, if you had 2 snare drummers playing versus 9 snare drummers playing, you know what I mean?
Probably. Another thing that I thought was interesting that I had thought about a lot in the past, but we've always scored very well in A class. We medaled in A class. So it never really came up to me all that often about like music scores and stuff. But I noticed that a lot of open class was, how do I say this? Like not super clean, meaning hitting the drum at the same time. They were not super clean, but there was not a section of the show that was extremely clean, and then another section of the show that was like kind of clean, and then another section of the show that was like really dirty. It was a very consistent level of quality from most lines I saw in the open class. So that's good and bad, because then I feel like we are not the same. The way we tune and the way we teach and what we do is very different than that. It's super clear and obvious when we're like in and it's nails and it's like super, super clean. But then there were certain sections of the show that weren't as clean.
Yeah.
And when it wasn't as clean, it's so obvious. So I didn't see an extremely high level of quality from certain groups, but I did see very consistent from this section of the show to that section of the show to that section of the show in terms of cleanliness and achievement level. So I feel like you get the benefit of the doubt until you don't. If you're really, really clean in most areas, and then one section, let's just say for ease of talking about it, a triplet roll passage it just didn't happen that rep. Then we get just decimated.
Yeah, especially when everything else
because
is like,
yeah, exactly, because
perfect.
it's very different than playing super clean. So I feel like that played a factor as well in terms of scores.
That's a good point. I never really thought about that.
We just flat out weren't as produced as everyone else who we were competing against. And like that whole phenomenon I just described. These are all my opinions.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not the person writing down the scores, but
True.
The only reason I care is because it limited the amount of shows and the amount of performances that we got to have as an ensemble.
I don't even think, like, I know size is an issue, but I don't even think that many more people added would have made. Let me start over. That sentence was about to be garbage. I feel like if we added a few more people, like not that many, we would have gotten a lot higher scores. You know what I mean? Like,
I
yeah, we
think
had
so too.
one quad and no cymbals. If we kept everything the same and added one quad and maybe 3 cymbals, I think we would have done like really well. Because I mean, if you think about who's medaled in open class in the past, like Spirit of America is who comes to mind to me, and they're like consistently that size.
Yeah,
I think sometimes they might have like 3 quads, but they usually only have 4 snare drummers, and they're always getting silvers. So
it's true. Silver, bronze. Yeah, they're no joke. I mean, and speaking of playing clean, that battery does not play super, super, super clean.
no,
Just not being mean. That's just facts.
yeah, they don't. In comparison to a lot of other lines, they don't look the same. I think that's probably the biggest issue for them, at least in previous year. They didn't march this year, did they?
Oh, they didn't come out. So
It's unfortunate.
yeah, no season for them this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be my analysis of the season, though. A lot of logistical things that it's not valuable to get into on this podcast right here, but a laundry list of just things that we had to handle that put a hamper on our ability to move forward.
Yeah.
And size, which is unfortunate, but I can understand it to an extent.
Yeah.
And then that cleanliness thing I mentioned.
Yeah. Well, I mean, still made paradigm history, which is always good. So
True.
on the up and up for sure. Anyway, I kind of derailed our whole conversation. What's your number one or your top line?
I already mentioned 2. I mentioned United and Mystique, right?
Yep.
Okay. It's not my top. I'm not going in any particular
your
order.
Third, I guess.
Probably X. Probably Rhythm X. Not at my top. Like I wouldn't put them at my number 1. I didn't love the show I watched whenever I saw it. It's cool. It was very much a Rhythm X show. It was like Nirvana music. Kind of reminded me of their show they did that was Muse Music, which was 2011 when they had those orange uniforms. I don't remember the name of that show, but yeah, I liked X a lot. Once again, that's another East Coast group, by the way. So we are definitely biased, or at least I'm definitely biased. I like how they, I like the technique that they use. I like how they hit the drum. I like the vocab that's in the book, and how it's put together in the writing. It's very fun to listen to. It's impactful. It's badass, and their snare line was no joke. That's for sure. So, their bass line was hot as hell too. Definitely, in my opinion, at least on the floor, they were the most impressive bass line to me.
I'll go ahead and say that my third was also Rhythm X. I don't know if it's because I'm a Rhythm X fanboy, because I, like, the moment I started marching, fell in love with watching Rhythm X. That was always like my dream group to march.
You're also from Ohio.
And I'm from Ohio. Yeah.
And they're from Ohio.
Yeah. One of my first teachers marched Rhythm X.
He still does. He still he doesn't march. He teaches there now.
I don't think he does, actually.
Oh, he doesn't teach anymore?
I don't think so. I was in there a lot and I didn't see him.
Did for many years.
Anything. Yeah, he taught them for, I think he aged out in 2015, taught there for probably until COVID hit it. But yeah, dude, they hit the drum hard and they play, I don't know, they look exactly the same when they play. And I thought they were probably one of the cleaner lines. I enjoyed the show a lot. Like you said, it felt like a very stereotypical X show, which is probably another reason why I really enjoyed it. It felt a lot like the orange uniform one. I can't remember the name of it, but it also kind of reminded me of Man in the Arena a little bit.
Yeah. Hardcore.
Which is my favorite show that they've done. But yeah, and their book was super difficult. Very, very wide range of vocabulary and
very snare drummery for the snare book.
Very snare drummery for the snare book, exactly.
Just like shit that snare drummers would play at the housing site.
Yeah.
And challenge each other to the reps,
Yeah.
That's what I thought of the X book. I was like, this is just like a snare drummer's dream right here.
It's so true. And the end is like, it's just so dense. Like there's so many notes that they're playing and it's like all clean.
All of it?
I mean,
I'm kidding.
I mean,
I'm
yeah,
just messing around.
they were up there for me. I definitely think they deserve the silver spot.
I agree. You know, much love and respect to all groups, but did not. I didn't really enjoy watching Broken City.
I was gonna bring that up. I wanted to know what you thought of them. I've always enjoyed watching Broken City, and they're always super impressive. This year I didn't. I don't know. I was a little disappointed. I didn't think they were as clean as previous years, and their show didn't speak to me as much. Some of my favorite shows I've ever watched before have been Broken City shows too. So, you know,
They move really well. I mean, I don't like the show.
yeah,
I haven't liked Broken City shows since 2017.
that
The
is
Spine
probably
show.
one of the best shows I've ever seen.
It was definitely good. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe I'm just getting old, but I don't enjoy the lack of concept thing, and the fact that a lack of concept is rewarded more than a very, very, very clear concept. Like how I don't know. I'm sure the sheets, I'm sure the sheets do not say lack of concept equals concept. And it's very, I don't know. How do you commit to that? How do you commit to lack of a concept character or lack of a concept and weaving that throughout the show? I don't know. It's frustrating to me for all those reasons. I'm not a designer. I don't want to be a designer. But I wouldn't fall in that category of designer.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just not artistic enough. Maybe I don't have enough of an imagination or whatever. But
Sure.
like we're trying to put an objective score onto a subjective product. So inherently, there's always going to be like drama and people frustrated about literally anything, any season ever, always and forever. There will always be frustrations with how the scores and placings come out for different shows. But that one definitely frustrated me for sure. Like watching that beat Mystique.
Yeah, I was thinking the same
I don't
thing.
really get it. I don't understand. I don't know what. I don't get it. I don't know.
I'm glad. I was surprised after watching them live for finals. I was surprised that X was behind Broken City in semifinals. I'm glad X took the silver for that because I think the show and the beats deserved it personally. But yeah, I don't know. Somebody pointed out to me, and I didn't even notice it until somebody pointed it out. Is like so many groups in all classes are trying to adopt the same style as Broken City. It seems like even from the reverby vocals being played in the background of a very abstract show. Like I think it was Civitas was who we were watching in either the lot or
I
in the
believe it's the same
performance.
designer.
Oh, is it really?
I think so. So that would explain a
Well,
lot.
that would explain it then. But yeah,
Don't
it's
quote
like
me.
it's a
I can
very
text some people and
abstract
ask. But
concept with a lot of reverby vocals, and it's like the same vocalist the whole show. I don't know. It felt like a open class Broken City show, and I was like, but like it's not just them either. A lot of groups felt like
a lot of groups.
they had the same design almost.
Yeah, for sure. And I know it's a copycat game where whoever's the top kind of sets the standard for the next wave or whatever. Like there was another open class group that I mean, I swear to God, that was like as close to Pulse Percussion Open as I've ever seen. And they were from California, around the same area ish. Might be the same designers. I'm not sure. I don't think so, but my God, it was like exact same pacing and flow and feel and everything as a Pulse Percussion show. So yeah, I see those a lot. I just like when shows are unique, and yeah, I don't know. They call it playing the game. That's what they call it. That's what I hear people say. Oh, they're playing the game. What does that mean? What do you mean you're playing the game? Playing the game? Playing what game? Playing the judges' game? I don't know. I guess it works. That's what I always hear about
Sometimes.
boring shows that I don't enjoy. Every single time I'm like, oh, that was a boring show and I don't enjoy it for this reason and that reason. And anytime I tell someone that, instantly it's like they're playing the game. Like, oh,
Okay.
I don't want to do that then.
I feel like when everybody does it though, it makes the groups that don't play the game stand out. And I think they get rewarded for that too, which I think is like the positive of it, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's what made Spirit of America win so many years in a row, is because all the open class groups were playing the game, but Spirit of America was like routinely, doing the very obvious show concept with the very crazy production. Same with Dartmouth, right? They have the same.
Oh my God, I love
thing.
Dartmouth.
They're so fun to watch, and all their shows are so in your face, high production quality. And
some of my favorite shows of all time are Dartmouth High School, freaking high schoolers performing.
Yeah.
So good. They did a show, I don't remember the name, but it was something like Out of the Box Toy Shop. It was like a Barbie show.
Oh, yeah.
Sick.
That was a good show.
Sick,
they
dude.
played I'm a Barbie Girl.
So awesome.
So funny.
Love
I like
that
their
show.
speakeasy show.
Yeah.
I think that's what the show was called, but it was basically they were in a big speakeasy, and it was during the Prohibition era. That one.
Have you seen I don't remember the name of it, but it was like the Lady Gaga music, the Lady Antebellum. Or wait, whoa. That's a country song.
Hello?
Marie Antoinette. Holy Jesus. Marie Antoinette when they cut her head off. I think it was 2014.
Yeah. They think they called it oh man, it's on the
Off with her head.
Let Them Eat Cake. I think is what it was called.
Yes. Awesome show.
Yeah, that one was a good one. That was the first time
there
I
were
saw
some superstar snare drummers in that, well, just drummers in general in that show that ended up just continuing to be absolute beasts for years.
Yeah. Yeah, they're impressive. They're impressive drummers for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, basically all those top high schoolers, Chino Hills, and who won this year? It was Avon. I wish I saw them. I didn't see their show, but I heard that show was really awesome. It was like a sports, like boxing show, right?
It was sick.
That's super cool. Dang.
Not gonna lie, one of my favorite shows I've seen ever.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Now I'm gonna have to go take a look at it.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
They had me hooked.
What'd you think of Pulse?
I don't know. It's a Pulse show. I thought they played clean.
They definitely.
I don't think it should have gotten the highest score in WGI history. I don't know if I agree with that, but played clean. Show concept was pretty cool. Had some great members, great performers, doing great things. It wasn't like my favorite or anything. It didn't stick out to me in a crazy, crazy way. I will say they played Latin Lover in the lot, and that was hot.
Nice.
I remember I saw it for the first time. It's a super old school exercise. They updated it, I saw it for the first time in maybe February or March. And I was like, dang, they're playing Latin Lover. So that was nice.
Heck yeah. You watched them in the lot?
No.
Oh, you saw
Sorry,
video.
Pulse. Sorry, Pulse.
I didn't see them in the lot either. We went and saw X in the lot, and then we watched a little bit of Broken City in the lot, and then we went inside.
Yeah, I watched Dartmouth and Mystique.
Nice. How was seeing the dogs? You got a lot of people that march and teach MCM that you marched with. I'm sure it was really cool to see them.
It was great. It was great.
Nice.
Yeah. Very rewarding, and just reminds me why I keep coming back. Like when things get hard and like difficult and I start to feel like burnt out, if the immediate rewards of being able to make a short-term impact on someone don't work for me to get motivated again or whatever, I can definitely think about moments like those where it's like I hadn't seen this dude for years, and it's like instant pick up right where you left off. Because when you march next to someone and you're doing this thing at the high level, you end up learning their brain inside and out without even knowing it. I don't know, it just feels like assuming it's someone you got along with. I guess there's situations where people march next to people they don't get along with, but
Sure.
I thankfully didn't have any of those experiences. It's just like fits like a glove, and it feels like home
Yeah.
whenever you see those people again. And yeah, special
good.
thing.
It's a special thing. That's what's nice about this activity.
It's pretty unique. I got cold chills. Success.
Say what?
I said I got cold chills. Success.
Success. There you go. So yeah, I guess that was our recap of WGI World Championships. I'm sure that we'll probably get one of these on the yearly because we're so immersed in this activity. You'll hear our top lines and what our experience was going to Dayton. But yeah, it was a good year.
Yes, I was happy to see that not a bunch of groups had like members out because they were sick. You know, I had heard that for months. I mean, I had even thought about it. I'm like, oh, there's got to be someone that, gets COVID and can't march or can't be around the group or something or some other illness. It's got to happen. I personally didn't see any groups that had holes, so that was good.
I was a little worried about us. There was definitely been something going on like the couple weeks right before we started traveling, and somebody said that they were exposed to somebody who had the flu or something, and I was like, oh god, if we all get the flu like going to Dayton, geez,
you're really tough.
But
it'd be really tough.
Yeah, thankfully none of that happened and no COVID sickness or anything like that, so it's good. I was also worried that they were gonna cancel World Championships or delay it or something because of it's like a new variant out. I don't know if you saw that. It didn't get that much news coverage, but it was like I don't know. I don't know what it is. Omicron 2 or something like that. The squeakquel.
No way. They called it Omicron 2.
So it was Omicron something. Omicron was in the name, but it was a second variant. I don't know. The naming convention thing I don't really understand.
I don't know. I haven't kept up, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't know it was a thing until my instructor pointed it out, and I looked it up, and I was like, oh, damn, she's right. But
isn't that what viruses do, though? They
mutate. Just mutate, yeah.
Isn't that that's the goal, right? For us to get to an endemic stage.
Yeah, where it's they become less dangerous.
Yeah, isn't that a good thing?
Yeah, I think so. I feel like that was
not anywhere close to an epidemiologist. Yeah. Just to be, I'm not going to claim to be one on the internet, but
yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know either. But yeah.
Any honorable mentions from you?
Just in general about anything?
Yeah. Oh. WGI groups.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought you meant, but I wasn't positive. Honorable mentions. No. I mean, we already brought up Pulse. That would have been my honorable mention. I thought they were really really good. I didn't love their show, but I thought they were just really, really good. And we talked about the East Coast, West Coast thing. I've always kind of been a Pulse fan. I've always really liked watching a lot of their shows, and their hands. I think there was only one year where I didn't particularly love the way that they played. I think it was 2017. It was the year they had that like house show, that haunted house type show.
Uninvited or whatever.
Yeah, Uninvited. I mean, they were like decently clean, but I thought all their hands looked kind of different and weird. But like every other year after that, I've always liked the way their hands looked and how they played. So,
but yeah, I think my honorable mention would be Mason or Pulse.
Yeah.
It's hard to give an honorable mention to the gold medalist group, but I don't really.
Honorable mention to the gold medal. It's I don't know. Yeah, I'm interested to see how much more the like best WGI scorer in history is, like how much that's going to be pushed from the years going forward. Because I feel like the past couple of years it's been happening a lot.
Yeah, in prelims, Pulse got a 100 in multiple captions.
There's no way. I mean, no offense, Pulse. You guys are a very respectable group. You guys play super well. I don't know about 100. Like,
I mean, it's happened before, but normally they would allow some room to grow over the week from prelims to semis to finals.
yeah,
Yeah, it's weird. Interesting decision. Once again, I don't make those decisions, so who cares what I think?
Yeah, I'm just a marcher until as of a week ago. So
Hey.
Now I can teach.
Yes. Oh, subscribe, comment, like. Go to cloudmusicsuite.com.
Oh, and if you already said comment, but if you went to WGI World Championships or you watched it, comment your top 3 lines.
World class,
independent, or Scholastic too, if you want. It's fine.
I didn't watch enough Scholastic to know.
I didn't either, to be honest. I think I watched Ayala in the lot and a little bit of Chino Hills. Watched Chino Hills baseline. Their baseline was really
Dartmouth.
good. Oh, I watched Dartmouth too. That's right. Yeah, I was with you. I watched their snare line.
Oh yeah. Yep.
But yeah, should we wrap it up?
Yeah, comment below. Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Awesome. Well,
I hope you, Sean, have an amazing weekend.
You too.
It's the first weekend off in a long time.
It's gonna be nice and relaxing. I'm looking forward to it.
It's gonna be relaxing and weird.
And then next weekend I'm done with school forever.
Oh my God. Thank God.
Dude, I'm so stoked to not have
Congrats.
To do school anymore.
Preemptive congrats. Are you going to be out of commission next Thursday?
No.
All right. We're finally going to have a week in between uploads this time.
That's right. Yeah. So
our stuff's been crazy recently. So it's been like 9 days, 4 days, 3 days.
I think schedule wise, our content's going to be a little bit more consistent. But I'm going to be moving back to closer to Austin. So we'll probably get some more in-person content.
Let's go, baby.
Which should be exciting, including probably some new stuff too. We'll probably start our React videos.
Yes. I'm thinking 20th episode, we start to do a 2 a week.
2 a week?
After the 20th. I think
that.
that'll help us grow. Speaking of growing, if you're still here right now, you clearly enjoy what you're listening to. So send it to a buddy. Easy listening. Might be harder to share this one with them than other ones, because it's like super specific. But if you got any homies in the marching arts, send it to them.
If you're not in the marching arts and you're listening and learning about it, thank you for sticking with us for the past hour or however long we've been talking. So super exciting that you were able to listen to us talk about something that we both love and have been involved with for so many years.
We should do an episode on. No, I don't know. I don't know.
On
Never
what?
mind.
Oh my God. You keep getting me on the edge of my seat. All right.
A lot of things.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Doesn't matter.
We should do React videos and what was the other one? Like try not to laugh challenges.
It'd be so fun. I would fail.
I'd probably
fail so
too,
hard.
To be honest.
I'm the worst.
Especially when you have somebody else in the room. Like
it's true. It gets like triple as funny.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Let's wrap this thing up.
It's been your best friends. It's Austin.
And it's Sean. Thank you guys for listening.